everyone. This is Alex, and today we have a very special guest. His name is Marvin Germo. He's also an investor and entrepreneur and very familiar with the crypto market. And I'm definitely sure that he will provide us with some great value. So I won't tell you much. I won't tell you much. I will let him introduce himself as we always do with our guests. So, hi, Marvin. Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining at our podcast. And I look forward to hear what you have for us, what you have prepared for us.
Wow, thank you. It's an honor. It's a privilege. It's an honor to be able to be part of your show, and I'm excited for what's going on, what you've been doing with your entire NFT project that's currently launching as well.
Thank you so much. Okay, now let's help our guests a bit, and let's introduce yourself. If you can introduce yourself in a few words, so they get to know who's the guest and what value will be provided by whom. Please.
Okay. So my background's quite different from a lot of the people that's going into the crypto and NFT space because I came from traditional finance, TradFi. So I've been investing in the stock market for over a decade now, and that's been most of the things that I know, from stocks to bonds. And I got into I heard about Bitcoin 2013. What's interesting
Wow.
about that was, no, I heard about it,
Yeah,
hearing about it, and
like
investing
most
is
of us. Yeah,
two
true.
different things. So I heard about it 2013, but I thought it was a scam. I thought it was something that
Not a
probably
scam anymore.
it's a bubble. It's something that might go to zero, or something that people are just buying. Then the last person who's buying it will end up with something that's empty. I even wrote an editorial piece in one of the publications here in the Philippines. It's still up by now, and I was actually very cautious about saying that, oh, it might go to zero. A lot of people were using it into money laundering as well. So that was my whole frame of mind with it. Coming from traditional finance, everything that you invest in a mutual fund, you get 20% in a year. A lot of people are happy by that, but Bitcoin at that time was doing so well. And coming from a traditional finance mindset, you would always think that it's too good to be true. Maybe it really is. So fast forward some around 2018. Please do note, for people who are watching this that are new to crypto, 2017, November, December 2017, it was one of the first times that Bitcoin hit its all-time high, 19-20,000. And then a few months after that, it crashed all the way to 3,000. And I was in Dubai at that time. And I met a friend who I helped him invest in the stock market years back. But he said to me, I'm not letting you go home if you don't invest in Bitcoin. So
You did,
what happened? Huh?
and you did invested in Bitcoin back then.
Yeah. So the story behind that was, I was thinking that, okay, it's 3,000 now. I still have my stocks, I still have bonds. If it Historically, Bitcoin normally would drop at its hardest 90+%. So I was thinking at 20,000, if it drops by 90%, maybe this goes to 2,000. So from 3,000 to 2,000, versus what if it goes back to 20,000? The risk reward ratio from that perspective for me was relatively okay. So I looked at it from a diversification point of view. Went in, even Ethereum at that particular point in time, but I was just in it knowing Bitcoin and Ethereum. Then the lockdown happened. I had more time to study altcoins. Then led me into NFTs. Then it led me to the metaverse, and we're here right now. I'm talking to Alex, one of the biggest crypto whales in all of the United Kingdom.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. It is an honor for me, to be honest. And that was a very interesting intro. I heard about Bitcoin as well, just heard about, and that was again, I think, back in 2014, 15, somewhere around there. And now, obviously, I'm sorry, and I feel bad like most of the people, but this is life. Now we are in a period where I think we are about to see the rise of NFTs, and it's good that you have mentioned about that. And I heard that the NFT market is getting bigger and bigger in Asia as well. Can you tell us a bit more about that, knowing that you are in Asia?
What's interesting about that, it's not just that it's getting bigger, it's creating a lot of adoption, especially with regards to NFTs that are connected to gaming projects. Because what people always think about for NFTs, it's normally JPEG, something that you
Yeah,
collect, something that You can display or change your profile pic. But there are iterations of NFTs where it gives you ownership in a game. And what's interesting about that is the gaming market is something that's very, very big. And I don't know if you know the demographic here in Southeast Asia. The
I know.
population is very young, but very young. But it's easy for them to accept digital technology because that's something that they were born into. So they started to as the game started to invest, it was in the lockdown. A lot of people understood it that okay, I'm just at home. I could possibly also earn from this. Thus, the explosion of NFTs here in Southeast Asia, not just as a collectible, but something that people can actually use in game. And for some, it has become a livelihood, or also for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, true. It makes a lot of sense, especially that the gaming industry, if I'm not wrong, and correct me if I'm wrong, it is the largest in the world. And from my perspective, that's the first market to adopt NFTs and these kind of new technologies. And you were right, because people perceives NFTs only as visuals, but behind these NFTs, we see a smart contract, right? That's why we have the token, which is the smart contract, and it allows people to do whatever they really want to do because of those capabilities. Anyway, how do you see the NFT market in the next 5 years? I mean, from your perspective, what is going to
Um,
happen in this market?
so there's a lot of ways to answer. There's a lot of ways to answer that question, but you made a very, very interesting point already, that gaming is putting it into the forefront. So I don't know how it will be in the next 5 or 10 years, but what I know right now is that there's massive adoption already towards gaming. And how do you know there's massive adoption towards gaming? The best minds that are highly into game development, graphics, programmers,
Yeah,
coders are shifting to this space. So gaming, I think, will be a very, very large part of the NFT aspect. I Number two is, I believe that NFTs that have utility will will be very, very important, and we're already seeing it. It's March 2022. Maybe a year ago, February, March 2021. People were buying NFTs mainly as they saw it as art, they saw it as collectibles, they saw it as something that I can store and get something off of it that I could display or flex to my friends. But what has shifted is that it's not just anymore about the JPEG or the picture or the art that's attached to it. It's what you could do, or the access that you could uh, get with it as well. And I think that's where it's actually evolving. That people are buying it maybe as an expression that they want to be a part of this cause or a part of this community, or they want to buy this because it gives them access to this special person. I think that's where it could possibly go. But here's another interesting, and I want to balance this out, that um there's so many NFT projects coming out every day. In a day, there's more than for sure, there's more than one. And similar to
I think more than
the dot com bubble, yep, similar to um some crypto tokens, not everything will be relevant 10 years into the future. And that's how it is even in business. It's the upper 20% that will do okay, but it's the upper 1% that will massively be a home run for a lot of people. So people are thinking that I buy something today, I hold it for the next 10 years, it will do well. I don't think that will be the case. It will be the ones that will give the most either value to people, or it will be the one that's most scarce, that people actually like, that they will come and invest in also. So I think macro wise, it's the future of a lot of things. But in the same way, macro wise, not every project will also make it as well.
it makes a lot of sense, and I do believe that NFTs that provide real value to the real world are those ones that will last and will grow as well. Now, speaking about growth, people are asking, okay, how do we make profits from these NFTs? Because there are also many people interested to speculate the NFT market. Yeah, do you have any specific strategy for that?
Um, that's very interesting. There's a lot of approaches that I'm trying here. Number one is from an entrepreneurial standpoint. I look at it as a startup. So you try 10 different things, probably seven or eight will not work. one will do well, but the last one will massively compensate for the ones that don't do well. So that's one approach that I'm actually trying also, because it's really hard uh to know how it will be. Even if you look at Board Ape Yacht Club, no one knew
Yeah,
that it would be one of the biggest projects out there. Just looking at how it actually looks when it actually started out. So that's one looking at. But of course, trying those 10, there's still an amount of studying and due diligence that you're not just like throwing a dart or throwing money away. But one of the things that I guess one of my rule of thumb. So I forgot to answer this also, that my entry point to the NFT market was NBA Top Shot. So NBA Top Shot, for those who don't know, is a it's a project under the Flow blockchain. So the underlying token is Flow, and I'm a big basketball fan. So from that perspective alone, I buy something that I like. It really doesn't matter if it doesn't move over the next 8 minutes or the next 8 days. But because it's like buying a Rolex, you buy a Rolex because you like it. If it appreciates in value, then okay. If it doesn't, because you still like it, you're holding on to it. So that was my first approach to it. So I guess what people need to realize is, if you want to buy something, then just buy something that you actually like, and then if it appreciates in value, it becomes a bonus. Like, for example, I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I know a lot of people who collect whiskeys, and the main reason why they collect whiskeys is because they also like to drink it. Then if it appreciates in value, it's okay for them. If it doesn't, they'll be glad to either collect it or use it or drink it at some point in the future. So that's my approach in it. That's one. Number two is the utility. I'll probably want to get something that gives me access either in real life or in the metaverse or a digital in a digital version. And there's a lot of projects that are like that. And then third, I guess, is for those who want to be in the profile pic genre. um, I guess it's something you buy something that represents something that you believe in or a cause that you believe in. Because I have a friend who bought um, different 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 sets of flower girls, uh, boss beauties,
yeah.
women rights, primarily because those were advocacies that she believed in. So even though they were not moving up at the start or even at the end of 2021, because she liked it, okay, then suddenly they pumped at the start of 2022. Then she bought, I think, around 10 per collection. So she did very, very well by it as well. So something like that.
Very interesting. I'm now curious because you have mentioned that that project was, not moving too much at the beginning. What do you think that are people that are buying these kind of NFTs that are not moving much at the beginning, but then they panic sell at a lower price than the price they were buying? What do you think about this kind of emotional behavior of humans? Is that a good one or a bad one?
That's a good question. I think coming from a stock market background,
Yeah,
every time you position into a stock, the first thing that you will always ask yourself is, why are you buying it,
yeah.
and what will be the reason or rationale for you to sell it later on. So what does that mean? If 6 months later the price drops, but the reason or the rationale for you to sell it is not yet there, then it's not a cause for you also to panic. But I guess a lot of people are focusing on their upside. My style is, I don't focus on the upside first. I focus on the downside first, because when you cover your downside, when you know what your downside is, it will somehow already if it does well, everything else will be gravy, everything else will be your upside.
That makes a lot of sense. Okay, but how do you manage to control the risk when investing in NFTs? I mean, I think that's a question I think that's a very important question for most of us actually. How do you manage to control the risk when investing in these NFTs?
Hmm. So here's what's interesting. I don't risk is something you can't control, but you can control how you allocate your capital. You can control also how you do your due diligence in projects that you enter in. So in terms of controlling my capital, so my style is just basically, okay, this is an amount of money that I want to allocate here. If I have more, maybe I'll add. If I don't get X if I don't get extra, I won't add anymore. And it's an amount that if it goes to zero, I'm okay with it. Or what people need to realize is this: they should only put an amount of money that when it goes to zero, they'll be able to sleep well at night. They'll be able to function properly, and that term is very subjective. For Alex, I think Alex can go with 1,000 ETH. That if it goes to a certain, it goes to a very very high. Even if he loses 1,000 ETH, he'll be okay. But to some people, they put 0.1 ETH and it drops. They're not comfortable with it also. So the trick is to find an amount that you're comfortable with and you stick with that. The problem is when the market is pumping, everyone's making money, they somehow get tempted to put more than what they could somehow tolerate.
Yeah,
And that's again from a mentality of you're just thinking about your upside. So I don't think about what my upside is. I think about what my downside is first. So if I get tempted to put this amount of money, I will always say to myself that what if it what if it drops? What if it goes the other direction? Will I be okay? If the answer is I'll be okay, then I'll put. If the answer is I won't be okay, then I'll think about, okay, should what if I lessen this by 20%? Will I be okay? If the answer is still no, what if I lessen this by 40%? Will I be okay? If the answer to that is yes, then I stick with that capital. So there's a lot of thinking
that's
behind
very
it.
smart.
And I think that's from my background in traditional finance. I think uh that it's the methodology, the emotions, it's something that you can copy paste into crypto and into NFTs as well. And I think that's one of the technology, and the asset class might be different, but the investing acumen, it doesn't really, it's something that you can superimpose into those different asset classes as well.
That's a very interesting principle. Well, I think basically, from what I understand, from your perspective, there are many people investing the money that they don't have, and what I think you were trying to say is that people should invest the money they can afford to lose in case something bad happened. They can still be relaxed. But in case the market goes bullish, then they can make some profits and obviously be happy, right?
Yep, but what's interesting is it's not just money that they can afford to lose. It's money that if it goes down, they'll be able to function normally. Because I've seen a lot of people that, okay, I could lose this much, but when volatility happens, they could
Yeah.
their answer to that question somehow changes also. So they should always look at it from percentages, that if it drops this much, will you be okay? If not, you have to lessen the amount of money that's there. And here's what people need to know: investing is just like, it's just like anything else in life, that if you do it over and over, you get better, you have more experience, and then you get familiar with it. Meaning, okay, for example, Alex will put one ETH. Okay, one ETH. Then as you go through time, either you learn more, you experience more, you get better, or you have actually more savings, you get promoted, then that one ETH becomes looks so small already, that okay, maybe I add another one ETH as well. Then you, without knowing it, you've actually doubled the amount of
Yeah.
money that you put in. But it's something that occurred through time, and it's something that occurred also by you not actually rushing it.
Yeah, and we also learn by doing mistakes. So in the same time, risking is good sometimes, because this is the only best way to learn more and to gain more experience. And as you said, the more you do it, the smarter you get, let's say. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Now, a fun question. How many NFTs do you own? How many NFTs do you have?
Oh, it's hard to say already, because even for NBA Top Shot, you buy it by the pack. So
Oh, okay.
what I do is I distribute it per blockchain and per wallet. So I don't I've at the
Don't
start
say.
I was trying to count, but at this point, not anymore, because there are some NFTs also that you get via airdrop. There are some NFTs also that, for example, for Gary Vaynerchuk, buy the book, you get this, and you get this NFT. So I also availed. Yeah, so I did that's via token trove, and I actually don't track token trove as much as well. So I actually I don't know. I don't know what the count. I don't know what the count is. So
Okay,
even
you don't want to say, you want to keep it safe, right? Okay, it makes sense. So definitely you have many. Okay.
many,
Also,
me too.
do you invest in NFTs during the bear market as well?
When you say bear market, what time period are you
I
looking at?
think this is the right one. Like right now, the bear market, I think it's happening right now. We are in March, and in January, on OpenSea, I think they had sales of 11.7 billion dollars, and right now we have 3.6 billions, if I'm not wrong. But I'm
Okay, okay,
definitely sure that we are in the bear market also because of the war and the whole global situation.
got it. Okay, so I thought the question was highly connected to crypto, but what when you were asking that, I was thinking about while crypto was dropping a few weeks ago, the NFT market was going up. So somehow, I think you hit properly that because of what's happening in the war, a lot of people are trying to shore up their cash, also trying to protect themselves also from downside. So it could go into you people could look at it in two ways. Number one is, if there's uncertainty, some of the projects that are really good, they might buy it at a cheaper price. Even Board Ape Yacht Club, it dropped over 38 also. Number two is they could wait for the uncertainty to somehow pan out, which is totally fine because we all have different
Yeah.
risk tolerances. But once the uncertainty is out and they start to come in, the price that they might get it also might not be as cheap as compared to when there was a lot of uncertainty. So if you're the type of person that wants to buy it cheap, wants to buy it when there's uncertainty, or wants to buy it that uh, there's a lot of blood in the streets, uh, then the greater the fear, the better your opportunity to buy something that's relatively cheaper. If you're a person that doesn't want the uncertainty but also want to buy, set a price that you want to buy it. It hits this price already, and there's no more uncertainty. Then that would be a very very good entry point also for you. So to make it super simple and answer your question, you invest based on your level of conviction, based on what you think that part. That's what's interesting about NFTs. It's very subjective. What you think that price of that particular either JPEG or whatever token is for you, and if you think that you get the most value out of that already at that price, then you're supposed to go. You could possibly go for it as well.
It makes a lot of sense. Indeed, I personally think that a very good strategy is any way to buy the dip as much as you can afford to buy the dip. I think you can only win in the long run. I'm the kind of person that I'm a marathonist. I'm not a sprinter. Okay, now let's change a bit the topics and to speak a bit about the metaverse. What do you think about this metaverse, the metaverse? Do you invest in it? Do you have any land or something?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
So everything that's so avatars, clothes, land, planets, even tennis balls. I think I've dabbled into different NFTs that are highly connected to the metaverse. It's quite interesting. It's something that I think there will be still a lot of development that will go on, and how it could possibly be integrated, because I've been trying to do either Sandbox or Decentraland. Sandbox is already in
Yeah.
alpha mode, but I just find myself just running and I don't know what's going on. I'm just running and walking in the metaverse. So I have to figure out a way also where it's something that I so if you're looking at it from a game aspect, I don't know. I've only played one game over the past 2 years since the lockdown started. It's a very old game called StarCraft 2. So
I know
I
it.
I still have to find something that I like. If I'll spend a lot of time there, but um, I think it's a future. I think that it will the business applications for it, the recreational applications for it will be very very good. And like anything that's new, there will still be a lot of bumps in the road, and it's not yet it won't be still the best version of
Yeah,
what we'll actually see. So yeah, so there's a lot of metaverses, but I just somehow position or connect in the ones that I know the most. So something like that.
it is normal. But what do you think? Will this change the world as we know it right now? Will the metaverse change it?
Yeah, I think it will, because the metaverse is just a 3D version of something that's digital. So
Mm.
let me put this into perspective. What we're doing right now, this is already us talking digitally. I'm not really talking to you. I'm talking to a camera that transmits my voice and my video electronically, that somehow you in London also get to see it. So we're not, but this is in 2D form. What the metaverse does is it creates a 3D version of us talking to each other, that we could possibly walk around inside the metaverse. So if people are saying the metaverse is not here, I think that it's already here. We're just actually seeing just the 2D version of it right now.
I do believe that. That was a very great analogy. Now, because you have so much success, there are also so many scammers try to impersonate you. How do you? Yeah, I saw you have so many accounts. While we were trying to search after Marvin, Germo, we found so many accounts. So you're obviously a successful person. That's why something like this is happening. But how do you advise people to handle this matter? Because there are many people with the same problem, especially in this crypto and not regulated market, because these are what I call scammers, and they really do it because they want to trick some other people.
So you mean other people that are being copied, or the ones that are trying to be scammed?
No, basically your account, because you are very good at what you do, and you have so much experience and people are following you. There are some scammers, some other people copying your name, and then they
Okay,
just I don't know, send private messages to some other people telling them to press a link or to join some discord or these kind of things, so they get
okay,
to get access to these people and obviously steal their money. It happened to us also, so I really understand.
okay. So uh I guess that's where a large amount of awareness and education is as well. I've tried to talk to the different platforms also to somehow find a way to remedy it, but they actually haven't found a way on how they can prevent it to happen. Even because even if you block the person, or
Yeah, I
even if
know.
you report it, they get banned. They just create a new account. So uh I guess for people watching this, this is me saying that I'll never send you a DM, and I'll never ask you for money, or I'll never tell you to uh invest in this investing platform that will give you an absolutely amazing rate of return that's guaranteed. So I guess it's knowing that for people to not be scammed, I guess it's knowing that, number one, who are you following, what are they communicating to you, is it still the same from the person that you're following, and then number two, what they're offering, is it something that's too good to be true, something like that. So if you think it's too good to be true, if it's something that is absurd, that you don't even have to work for it or study it anymore, then maybe it feels like a scam already.
You should be worried, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Marvin. And guys, keep an eye here because we will put Marvin's official Instagram, so you get to see it at somewhere at the bottom of this video. And I really hope you guys had, taken some lessons from such a very important person. And I really hope we do provide some value with this interview of Marvin. And keep an eye on Marvin because he's got so many different kind of videos to help you with to understand what the crypto market is, but also the NFTs. And thank you so much, Marvin, for being part of the NFTs as well.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always an honor.
Thank you.